That's the
Sir, I have heard you have you give dakshina in this way, that you practice classical music every day. Apparently 4 a.m. it starts. So that's probably the way you are giving back. But of course, abstractly. That's the value system, right? I mean, it's not always, as you said, it shouldn't be just transactional in our life. There is, like you said, most valuable things are free in the world. So, thank you. Some of my students ask me this, sir, how can we take out time from volunteerism at this time of breakneck competition and rat race? How would you encourage the students to, do volunteerism, to come up on this?
See, the thing is that the rat race which is there is definitely a pressure, no doubt. But I'd like to mention here that, if you learn from what our ancestors have given us, you will find that you will be able to do whatever you are doing much more efficiently. Let me give you an example, because there are a lot of school students here. I had gone to IIT Kanpur, and there was a student who came to pick me up. I asked Shantan, how are you doing, sir? I'm one of the top students. So I said, which coaching institute did you join? He said, sir, I didn't join any coaching institute. So I said, which attempt is it of yours? He said, my first attempt, sir. So I said, tell me the secret of your success. So he did like, my school. So I said, which school was this? He talked of some God-forsaken school in 24 Parganas, small. So I said, what was so special about your school? So he said, sir, what happened was that every morning we all had to do yoga for half an hour, the whole school. So that many schools do. What is so great about that? He says, no, sir, it's not the type of yoga that's done in schools where a PT instructor is sent for a crash course, 6 months crash course in yoga, and he comes and teaches the school children. So here it was done more on the intellectual level. So my concentration, which was running from Dhoom 1 to Dhoom 2 to Dhoom 44 to Dhoom 144, running to a new eating joint, running here, running there, was brought within 3 sigma limits. So I said, then what happened? Then he said that after school, the whole school had to learn classical music for 1 hour. So I said, then what happened? He said, my concentration, which was within this 3 sigma limits, came like that, and became like a laser beam. So then I said, then what happened? He said, when I took my maths book and I started reading my maths book, my concentration was there. And what others would take 3 hours to do, I was able to do in 15 minutes. So the 2 hour 45 minutes I could spend on whatever I wanted, including voluntary work. So the point is not how many hours you study. The point is, what is the efficiency of what you study? A true yogi would be a fantastic CEO of HLL. I can tell you this. You don't have to sit on the top of Mount Kailash to be a yogi. If you practice Odissi dance in the proper way, or Patachitra in the proper way, not for trying to show off, not for coming on Dance Baby Dance talent show or whatever, If you are able to do it that way, and I'm telling you not just from hearsay, I do it that way every morning from 4 to 7, I do my riyaz. Not to sing for you, but so that I may go to IIT and teach beautifully. Do my research, whatever little I can, beautifully. Talk to you beautifully. That's the idea. So, never believe this when anyone tells you, oh, there's a rat race, I don't have time. Parents tell the child, hey, you have to get into engineering, you have to get into medicine. Please work, all this thing is all meaningless, don't do all this. But you know what? We are not teaching children to learn how to learn. We are asking them to learn, but not teaching them to learn how to learn. If we teach them to learn how to learn, they learn anything so well, like that. And then you'll have much more time to do voluntary work, to do many other things, which you are not able to do today because you're so tense about the rat race. You're so tense about making it to the top. When the top should come as a byproduct, not as a direct aim. If I'm doing something beautifully, automatically I'll be on top, because people will want to have me, because I'm so directed, I'm so focused, whatever I do, I take up like that. I'll be automatically be made CEO of HLL, right? So that is what I tell you. You may tell your, advise your students that learn a little bit of, not as a hobby. I will tell everybody here, and including the students which you have mentioned, take up not hobby, take it as a serious endeavor. Serious endeavor. What is the serious endeavor? You have to do it every day without fail. That is, take up either Odissi dance, take up either Pattachitra, or write something every day. But it has to be done every day. What Ustad Aminlan Dagar Sahib used to say, very beautifully he said, तुम एक धारा पानी का लोगे और पत्थर पे लगाओगे तो पत्थर को कुछ नहीं होगा, परंतु उसी पानी को तुम बूंद बूंद करके टपकाओगे, 1 साल 2 साल 3 साल में एक सुराग पैदा हो जाएगा. To achieve anything of great depth, that is the procedure you have to follow. And he also mentioned one thing, हर रोज करने का है. एक दिन छूट गया तो तुम 40 दिन पीछे. So, if you follow this technique, you will be able to find, you will be able to do anything you do very, very, very well.
Just to reiterate a little bit or rephrase a little bit what Sir said, in our mythological tradition, we have Bhagavan Krishna saying, Karmanya Bhadigaraste Mahaphaleshu Kadachanam. So actually it has multiple deep meanings there. One of it is, it's not just an abstract thing, oh, don't worry about the outcome, just do it. But it's actually the right trick to make your brain focused and concentrate, not worry about what will come out, and always be in a tense mood. When you are in that sort of a tension, your efficiency, what Sir was saying, instead of, this Sigma picture, he spoke like an engineering professor. Your attention is all over the place, and it is a 3 sigma or 6 sigma curve, but it becomes really short when you don't worry about exactly the outcome, because the outcome will happen, will come. Okay, thank you. My next slightly different question is, so what is the greatest challenge, and how are you going about taking it on? I know, I had read that in 2020, for example, you are hoping, or your organization is hoping to reach every child in every school, for example. That's a huge challenge. So similarly, I'm
we shifted
wondering
back. It's not possible by 2020.
So, sir, please tell us, what are your greatest challenges and how are you approaching? Because that would be meaningful not only for the youngsters sitting and even people like me can learn.
See, today everything is here and now. WhatsApp, Facebook, everything you want, the young person wants today, wants it immediately. But the boundary condition in our heritage, or anything of depth, why for our heritage? Even in physics, even maths, the boundary condition is that of patience. Patience and faith in yourself. Those two conditions, those two things are at a premium today. See, look, a person like Einstein sitting in the Geneva patent office with pencil, paper, and mathematics, and this, and with a lot of patience, is able to postulate the existence of gravitational waves. 100 years afterwards, in 2017, 3 physicists get the Nobel Prize for Physics for proving that he was right. Look at the power of the human mind. So what I'm just trying to point out here is that today, unless we are able to bring into the lives of young people, the same thing with boson. Just one more example I'll give and then I'll say. Like Higgs, you might have heard of Higgs boson. He postulated this almost 40 years ago. Then CERN was set up, Large Hadron Collider, $9 billion, thousands of applied physicists working. 40 years afterward, they say Higgs was correct. So what I'm trying to point out here is that what is this thing that brings in these great revelations, I'll call them. The 2 characteristics are patience and faith, both of which are very, very difficult in this day. That's the big challenge. How do I get this young student to say, "Bhai, ruko, thoda ruko"? Yesterday I went to a school and there was this very bright student who was speaking, very bright. He spoke, answered beautifully, 11th class. After that, they introduced me to him. And the principal of the school is telling me this, He's saying, this is one of our best students. He is, at 11th class, he's a motivational speaker. I was taken aback. He is a motivational speaker. He gives talks in various places. I said, that's wonderful, but isn't it a little early in the game for him to be a motivational speaker? We are trying to jump the gun. Nowadays, children, you go to YouTube, go to YouTube and you'll find genius, 5-year-old genius, singing all the ragas. Kya baat hai? And really singing beautifully. And everybody is clapping and giving him allocates, this thing, that thing. I'll tell you one example of one person. I won't name her, but I saw that person when she was that small and she was on all YouTube, everything. Now she's that big. Nobody's hearing her. Nobody. Ustad Amendin Dagar Sahab used to say, हम 40 साल तक बच्चे को स्टेज पे नहीं आने देते थे, कहीं वो भूल ना जाए वो किस लिए गा रहा है. So what is the big challenge of not being able to achieve our objective is this. Because even if 10, 15 people understand the depth of what is being done, then it acts like it's a cascade effect. Unless 5 of these students understand what is being done, how will it propagate? Today, we are not getting those 5 even. I'm finding it so difficult to propagate this idea even amongst our own students. Because the power of the internet, the power of the mobile phone, the power of everything outward is so powerful, pulling outward, outward, outward. Very little chance of a person going inward, inward. We have to get that person to go inward to get that experience. Once you have got the chaska, the taste of that experience, then you are adha pagal. Then you don't have to worry, then you are not a pilot. But that part is a challenge.
Thank you. That explains why I was told that you don't use a cell phone.
I don't use it. I use it like a landline. I do use it. Cell phone is very useful. Please don't think that I'm against technology. I'm teaching in a top technological institution. I use internet. I use everything. I use a cell phone, but I don't use it like it's not with me. It's in the room. Oh, it is with me, unfortunately. But I don't normally keep it with me. It's normally kept in my room, and then I go back and see what the messages are, and then I reply. The idea is not to be totally all the time. I'm requesting students here, be very, very, very careful of the cell phone. Use it, but let not it use you. You see, what has happened is, I also want to make one more request to you. You know, when every religion, you just see how bright people were. Every religion has this concept of fasting. You see, like we have this Navratri, in the Muslims we have 1 month of Ramzan. For Christians they have Lent. You see it in every tradition, there's this concept of fasting. And they link it up with the God above and everything. That's wonderful. But just think of it logically. What do you like? You love to eat. And you love to eat nice things, nice things, nice things. But always eating and always eating nice things is not good for you. So you should be in control of the eating, not the eating being in control of you. So all these religions have found that out and said, look, to get control over anything, abstain from what you like. Abstain from periods, you should abstain from what you like. One is eating, and therefore we have this concept of fasting. You link it up with anything, but that I feel that's one of the basic reasons why we have this concept of fasting. Very powerful. Similarly, I request all students to fast from the cell phone. Once a week. I'm really telling you. I'm not saying it just like that. Make Thursday the day of fasting. Like we have Tuesday for a day of fasting. Make Thursday the day of fasting from the cell phone. Keep it away. What you do is, you may not be able to keep it away the whole day. Okay, start with 1 hour. Then increase it to 2 hours. But go for 1 full day without using the cell phone. You see how it will affect you, your work, everything that you do, how it will affect you. You just see that. That's it.
Absolute good advice even for me. So talking about food or not eating food or fasting, there was a question about holistic food. I have heard that you have some views on it. Could you please share for volunteerism how it is important?
See, it's often said you become what you eat. You know, if you eat a lot of Rajasic food, which excites you, you become Rajasic. If you eat Tamasic food, you become sleepy. This is not something, it's very scientific. You see, if you eat food which is very spicy, it makes you excited and you are able to do things, yes, more energetically, but also it's very Rajasic. But if you eat food which is been designed in Odisha, such lovely foods are there which have been designed for maintaining a good health and also maintaining good health in the body, mind and the soul. So that is why traditional food is very, very important. But I'd also mention here that today the taste is taking over. It's not that these foods are not tasty, but they're not fashionable. It's much more fashionable to sit at coffee day, cafe day, whatever day, and have some coffee. You never know what you can get with that coffee, So the cafe day, coffee day, everything takes over. Such lovely food we have. Yesterday in fact, Ranjana brought me, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday. She brought me this thing which is made in Odisha, which is so tasty. What was that thing called? That sweet which you brought. Yeah, but I've had chena before, but the one which is brown crusted. How wonderful it was. I mean, I'm not joking. It was better than any Swiss chocolate that I've had. But no, we will take Swiss chocolates, or we will go and have, a pizza. You should experiment. So this sort of thing, what we are doing on 6th of November, let me tell you. What we do in IIT, every year what I do, is that I have this holistic food session for 100 students at least. And we are doing this on 6th of November. If you are in Delhi, come, I'll show you what we do. Nowadays, we don't even have classrooms where we can remove the chairs. There's no space in IIT now. They're all smart classrooms. They're really smart. Everything is fixed. Everything is fixed. Everything is fixed. So, what we have done is, we have found a corridor, mind you. In this very smart building, academic building, we have a long corridor. So I found that by doing tehqiqat, looking around. Every year, 100 students are made to sit on the floor. And we serve them in the langar style with holistic food. Before they start the food, we get, Professor P.L. Dhar, right? We get Professor P.L. Dhar to do, or somebody who does mindfulness meditation, 5 minutes of mindfulness meditation. And then all of them sitting with their shoes taken off, sitting there, they have the food. So it's not only what you're eating, how you're served. I get some students to serve them. Just the langar thing, which is done everywhere, but we have forgotten all that. Now we sit on the chair with knife, spoon, chalk, fork, everything, and then we think we are doing it very well. We have been a very minimalist society, and minimalist with a lot of dimag. You make a person sit, take off his shoes, sit on the ground, and somebody serve him nicely. Everything gets digested fatafat, and tasty, digested, and ananda. While there you are eating with a fork, have I stopped? My God, have I taken the correct spoon? Have I taken the correct napkin to put down? What will the other person think? हम तो गंवार हैं. I am not being able to take the correct spoon. I'm not thinking anything. See, there are different ways of looking at it. It's not that I'm trying to criticize there. It has got its own way of doing things. But we have got our own way. Why should we throw out such a beautiful way of taking the right spoon for the right thing? The dessert spoon is different from the soup spoon. It's different from you have to take each spoon differently. If you take the wrong spoon, they'll say, "Kya yaar, tum itna bhi nahi jante? Kaun sa spoon tumne le liya?" Hai na? That sort of a thing.
All right. Little time check. I know we started late, but okay. All right.
to tell them what we are actually doing on the ground level. See, what we want is, I request, we talk a lot about great things, but how are we going to achieve this? That is a very important thing. And that part I want to show with the pen drive to say what we are exactly doing and how these people who are here can come into it in whatever way they feel they can come into it.
Fantastic. So I will actually then wrap up with one or maybe two more questions. One is, the first one is, what's your take on climate change, which is such a hot topic, and how can Spick McKay volunteers contribute towards, this environment, what you call, what's your view?
One thing that is there, if you go into abstract physics, then applied physics will be child's play. If you go into abstract mathematics, applied mathematics will be child's play. You can go from theoretical to the practical. It's one-way street. You can't go from the practical to the theoretical. Okay? So you have to raise your bar to the theoretical, and then you can come to the practical, you can come to whatever you want. Why I'm saying this is, if you understand the philosophical tradition, if you're good in classical music, I'm telling you, really, you will try to use minimum of the plastic. You just check it out. You will find you will be much more environmentally conscious. You will feel you're much more aware of what's happening. I'm telling you my own case. I'm really telling you. I'm not talking from hearsay. After going through all this, I find that even if I find an ant moving, I'll move away. I can see an ant moving. In IIT, there's so many ants. And I see them all crushed like that. But what I do is I walk like that, seeing the ant. Why? It's not that something I'm doing, it's just that the whole thing of that learning of classical music, doing yoga, has made me extremely perceptive about things around me, how I use water. When I go to my kitchen, I don't throw any water. What I do is I put the bowl, when I'm washing also, I'll put a dekchi under that. So I'm washing the thing. That dekchi I'll use and put it in a tub, which is used for the toilet. I use that in the toilet. I don't put a flush. The one which I don't put with soap, I take that and I put in the plants. So what I'm saying is, if each one of us is taken to an abstract level of being very, very connected with the heritage, you'll find that being environmentally conscious will be a direct byproduct. What we are doing, what the difference between the Western approach and the Indian approach has always been, and both are important, I'll tell you why. See, I'm not trying to deride the West. We have to learn lots from the West. Imagine typing in a command and the rover in the moon on Mars moves 1 foot toward the left. What a great thing. I mean, they never deride the West. They have given fantastic things in the outward domain. But what we have done, just as an example, we have looked at things holistically. For example, if you look at even the medical system, it's like the Ayurvedic system, which I've been experimenting with a little bit, is a holistic system. The yogic system is a holistic system. But if you don't practice the holistic system, then you get a cancer. Then you can't say, I'm now going to practice the holistic system. You're too late on that. Then you go to the West, you go to All India Institute of Medical Sciences, they cut out thing and they take out the cancer, which is also very important. So what I'm trying to point out is that if you are at that level where you're looking at it holistically, the environmentally consciousness comes in as a byproduct. I can assure you on that. A person who is involved with the arts will be very conscious about the environment. So if we make all these children conscious, connected with the heritage, you'll see automatically we'll be less damaging to the environment. The other way is to say, no, be very consciously aware, you should use this bottle, you should use this, you should use that. That is the approach which is being used today. I go more for the abstract approach. Make a person more sensitive, make them more aware of broader things. Automatically they will become aware of the details.
Thank you. Makes absolute sense. All right. I think I know Sir would have a 15-20 minutes video presentation. So in the interest of time, let us stop here. And I would like you to clap for Sir.
No. One more thing. Please don't clap. Please don't clap. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why you don't clap. You know, Ustad Nasir Aminuddin Dagar, you know, when he used to sing, he would sing like this with his eyes closed, and then when he was about to finish, he would say, "Kripya taali na bajayega, ye meri aradhana hai." And he would stop, and then he would go out. This is my aradhana. I request, you know why? Because clapping is something which is connected with manoranjan. It's connected with, it's like, you know, thak, 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 thak. Try and avoid clapping. You know, previously what used to happen was, when anybody found something really that touched them, they say, "Bhai wah, kya baat hai?" When I see something which really touches me, I don't clap. I say, kya baat hai? And that's what used to be done. We should learn how to appreciate that way also. Not necessarily clapping. Avoid clapping. Really, I'm telling you. Try and feel something which is being said or performed or whatever. And then let it come out in a natural way. Ustad Bismillah Khan used to say it beautifully. He used to say it so beautifully. He said, "Aajkal वाह करवाने वाले बहुत हो गए, पर निकलवाने वाले गिने चुने रहे." So please, my dear friends, try and bring out that from people. Okay? All the best.
Thank you.